Okay. You see. Da, 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 da. Hi. Uh-oh. Are you muted? You're muted. Did I? I wonder
Okay, is
if
that better?
there you go.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. So we are here and actually I'm gonna close this now. Um, so the board is here. You can't or the
That's okay.
committee.
I don't need to
Um
see everybody.
but and it's kind of hard for us to hear. So we normally have technology that hooks up cameras and audio for everybody in the room. And it's not functioning right now. So we're gonna make this work as best we can. And I think if you can speak loudly, um, I have turned up the volume as best I can. And
Great, and
then
I can speak. Just give me a thumbs up if you want me to talk louder. I just don't want to blow up your computer.
I think select a sound output. Wonder if see if that works better. Can you speak?
Yes, is that better as far as volume is concerned?
It's not any different.
Okay.
Shoot. Okay. I was hoping it would be louder, but it doesn't seem to be. So, okay.
We can try some on, and there was that one, but I think it was up as
All
loud.
right. So, Victor, do you want to go ahead and call us to order?
It is 6:07, and I'm gonna call the P&J committee to order. We get a roll call. Victor Gennaro here. Sarah.
And Sarah Brown. Yep. Okay. Can you hear them at all?
Yes, I can. And
Okay.
I am Bonnie Reed, if you need that for the record at all.
Yep.
Okay, how are you doing today?
Hey, great. Thank you so much.
Excellent, thanks for coming. Do you want to take us away on what you're trying to accomplish here?
Yes, please. And it's so hard to navigate this from afar. I ran a business in this building at 1904 3rd Street for many years. Is it too hard to hear still?
I have it as loud as I can.
Okay.
I've tried all
Well,
the settings I
I'll
can
just
possibly do.
I can do bullet points then. You don't need me to ramble, but I am have been away in Reno. I work here and lived here since my mother took ill years ago. So that is why I've been absent. About 5 years ago, there was a pretty bad roof leak, and I had to find new homes for all of my tenants. So their businesses are still viable in Tillamook, a few of them. Um, so we have a roofing project that I deemed the most important. So when I presented the application to Tora, it was just roofing. Then it was explained to me that you may not be interested in funding, partially funding a project that just benefited me. So I wanted to give you the scope, which I sent in a recent email broken down into 4 parts because the roof is time sensitive with winter coming and I don't want it to spark another leak. I have met with roofers several. I really love the guys, Mike Williams at Washington Roofing. He's done several, actually on the block even. He will subcontract the tear off. So I have 3 abatement bids and I've already met with one and walked through the building. He gave me some some ideas on what to do to get ready for the project, just to make sure it's a clean slate, there were some drywall walls that he said if you could just pull the drywall off, then we can see better at what we're doing. And everything's ready to go for the roofing project. I'm on schedule for what looks like October, November. In the original proposal, I did submit, I guess it was just evaluation, that I have the funds to pay for it, even without this project. But to be involved with Chura and its future projects, I broke things down into four. I had the roof, which I felt most important. That does include the repair of the siding, then replacing the doors, all the exterior doors and windows, and repainting. So that I'll come back to because I need some key information there. And then the storefront is visible on Third Street, but the popular walkthrough is like on Second Street. So I'd really like to dress up the Second Street entrance. And the commercial windows I've looked at do open and close, so there'll be good ventilation. I don't know yet if I would be allowed to have an awning, but an awning on that door just would make it a little nicer to get in and out of the rain. I only own the property and that includes the door swing. It's all your parking lot aside from just this building footprint. So those two questions I would love to get answered from planning. Megan has been very, very helpful. And then I do have a lot of work planned on the interior. There was once a restaurant there, so I would like to create an inviting restaurant space for a new tenant, whether I just set it up for someone or actually open something up. And as I did before, I had Muddy Waters there for 11 years. And I could do something myself, or I could entertain a couple of people that have come my way already to say, I'd be very interested in moving into this space. So it's something that it might be a year-long project. I'm hoping next spring though. But I do plan to do these things anyway. I just wanted to be involved with the other projects that are going on as far as is getting complementary colors. One of the number one things on a roof is it's got some metal, and they have a variety of colors. And if I could learn what the Beals building across the street has planned for their color choices and whatnot, I'd like to do something that enhances that. And then again, would you guys be willing to participate possibly next quarter, next year? I don't know exactly how far you're working out. There was money on the table last meeting and I couldn't log on. There was 300 and some thousand left in your budget. But you shared with me, Sarah, that there were sidewalk projects going on, and that was spoken for the calendar year. Did I get that right?
Yeah, so our year is pretty booked up. We have some other people that are ahead of you in line that also have some great ideas. And so we're still in the process of kind of figuring out exactly what our shorter term deliverables are. And then we're working to kind of figure out our medium term deliverables. So realistically, we don't have any capital for you right now.
Okay,
We may
okay.
have capital in the spring or the summer of the following year. If you said, it's possible that you're willing to work in phases or in different, different quarters. I got to sit back down. I got to look at the contract or the application more before I make some recommendations on
Okay,
how that
great.
might.
Okay, great. And in my reasoning, I'm just, Sarah, trying to answer the question you guys had. Maybe I didn't make it clear enough that no, I'm not just going to re-roof it and call it good. It's going
Right.
to be, I want to resurrect the building and have warm and wonderful businesses back in there before. There were 11 suites before. I have no intention of becoming that complex, but the whole upstairs is just hardwood floors and mirrors. So it would be a great yoga fitness again, like it was. They have moved to the YMCA, but I practice myself, so I know that there's probably an interest in not only yoga, but Tai Chi and stretching classes and things like that. And I would voluntarily set something like that up for someone to lease the space or just have hold classes there for the general population because I think it'd be successful. It was before. Um, and then, restaurants, this is going to be my community when I retire. I'm still working for another couple of years. So that's why I'm limited to these calls kind of being in the evenings. I've come in several times, but I didn't know Washington Roofing was gonna put me in a corner on color choices right now.
Mm,
And, so I'd like to do something complimentary. So
right.
if you guys can share that little bit of information, that would be really helpful. Um, and I met with Jeff Nagley Plumbing. He is possibly available this coming weekend to meet with myself and Washington Roofing so the two professionals can get their heads together on the downspout. We just want to make sure that the runoff isn't overloaded, it's going underneath the sidewalk and sometimes those pipes had become clogged and that led to water backing up on the roof. So we just want to make sure that doesn't happen again. So we have
Right.
a plumber responsible for their part, the roofer responsible for theirs, and of course, all new materials, complete tear out. And that's gonna, in my opinion, that's where we have to start because I wouldn't want anybody working inside and then experience a winter, you know, roof failure. So I'm planning on doing that either way.
Okay. And you, what's the total cost of the project is
It was 70 on the
70?
proposal that I
Okay.
sent, yes. And that was the exterior siding pieces by the back door. The people that park in the lot sometimes hit that building. It's been
Mm,
damaged. So that would be the same type of material they'll be using on the parapet section of the wall of the roofing structure. So they'll gladly fix that as part of their bid. And
okay.
then that would be the tear off, the abatement, the new roof, the plumbing that connects into the existing. Gosh, it's the drainage stuff. I received it from Adam, but I don't know exactly what's under the sidewalk. If it happens to be less than the 3.5, we won't go 3, we go 2.5. So Jeff Nagley's gonna look at that. He knows what works and what doesn't. So,
Right.
and then having Washington, they were a little more expensive, but they are familiar with all those flat roof type buildings right on that block. So I feel confident.
Okay.
So my other, like I wrote you, I broke down the others into, I was asking 20 to the 70, for your participation.
Mhm.
So whatever denomination, am I talking over somebody or are they deciding?
No, I'm just,
No, it's so fun, confused because the narrative story, she was saying she has some cost.
I think she didn't, she's wanting to do it in phases, right? So her goal is to do the roof first because coming into the winter, we know it's gonna start raining. She put this application in June, but because of the turnover, it got kicked to July and then there was technology problems, so then it got kicked to August. So now she's saying, well, she would like to just get the roof done so that then she can attack the other pieces, right? So she knows there's other pieces that need to be done.
And so the total is 9.
Is 70? Is that right? The roof is
70
70?
was for the roof portion, and was I out of line in asking for a $20,000 participation in that 70?
No, I
You know,
don't.
I'm wondering what I
Are
could do to
you,
refine
do you,
these.
is she out of line in asking for the 20,000 out of the 70?
Yeah, it's not that you're out of line, it's just that we just don't have any capital for it all,
Okay,
you know?
so,
And so if the roof is on a timeline, then we can't help with the timeline. That's our
got it.
biggest constraint.
Right.
And I'm
The other thing
fine.
that we are anxious about or concerned about is you mentioned there will be a myriad of other projects that need to take place in order to make the place viable. We would be open to working with you and breaking it up, but we would like to know that you have the grasp on what the total project is going to cost and an avenue to get to that total project. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
and yes, it does, of course. The last sentence I didn't get clearly, though. What you,
The last sentence, she didn't get clearly.
So we just would like to know that you've got an avenue for what a total scope would cost. Because our concern is we do a roof, the project runs out of steam. From our perspective, nothing really happens because the tax base doesn't go up, no one's really renting it. You know, we wanna know that you're committed to the total process of what that would look like and the costs associated with it. We don't necessarily
Yes.
need to do the entire cost in one move. We can still do requisitions and break it up, but we wanna know there's an avenue to completion.
There certainly is, and my question for you based on that is, should I say I'm gonna re-roof on my own, and the next project might be the exterior doors and the facade upgrade. I
Yeah.
have that in anywhere from like 12 to 25,000. And that is something that would be the next phase of the project. Would I be able to write another Tura application in the first quarter or write it next month and maybe you get around to it by January? I don't know. How would you like to see that written? Because I feel
think
like,
we'd like to see a single application
okay,
that with an Excel sheet or something along those lines that breaks down the different milestones and what you're going to be asking for those requisition payments. Like this is phase 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, potentially
Okay.
5 or whatever
Okay.
it's going to be broken up into capital. Because we just need to know that you're going to cross that potentially $300,000 investment to bring it all the way up to where it needs to be. And or your exit strategy for what this building is really gonna, you know, need to do for you
sure.
financially, because it's gonna be a ton of money to get it up and running and, you know, based off of the rents that we're looking at here, does that even work for you?
Right.
No.
And I have I am sparked by a few tenants that have already approached me and shared a desire, you know, to one operate a business and another one, I mean, a restaurant business, and another one that has a retail business in Tillamook already. And I fear sharing that information because, you know, I don't know if they're landlords in the room. It's a small
Yeah,
town.
it would be
So,
good, if I'm hearing you correctly, it'd be good to include your strategy for how you're going to attract tenants in
okay.
that application. you know,
Okay,
if you
great.
have these relationships already, that would be great to outline.
Okay, great, exactly. All right,
Um,
and this
Yep.
spreadsheet could include then, these, you want the whole project and then there, we can break it down into phases. And may I list the roof as part of that too, so that you know that because that's going to be a $70,000 commitment out of my pocket right off the bat. And I mean, I think that if the staff changes along the
Yeah.
lines
Well,
here, that
and
it might be
you know, what
valuable for
we're
you to
saying
know
is
that.
based off of the weather and the timeline, I don't realistically see an avenue to helping with the roof.
Okay, that's fine.
You know,
That's fine.
I just don't see an avenue of getting that done before the new year.
I
So
get
you
it.
may want to include the roof as part of your packet, because you may say, hey, I put 70,000 into this thus far, and these are the other places that I'm going, you know? And
Yes.
I don't want you to feel anxious or upset about the summer. You know, even if we had been able to meet in June, we had already started backing up a pipeline and this larger project commitment. So, you know, you're not like 1 month out and having this kind of pulled away from you or something. I don't, I want to make sure that's very clear. But that's
All
kind
right.
of where we're at in terms of capital for fall.
Okay,
And you know,
great.
believe me, we want to help you. This is a great building. It's right by the Safeway. It's got a ton of foot traffic. You know,
Yes.
makes sense to
Yes.
everyone.
And I do want your all opinions, on my decision making. I don't want I don't want to choose a palette of colors that go in the rust and terracotta red kind of colors that are, because you guys have your rules, but I don't want it to be exactly the same or clash with the Beals building across the
Oh yeah.
street. So can I get some of that information from like
What I
Megan
would
or
recommend to
yourselves?
you is go to the Chamber of Commerce website for the city of Tillamook, or just
Okay.
Google brand guide
Okay.
city of Tillamook. And the Chamber of Commerce has already done a wonderful job putting together a series of fonts and colors that they are recommending business owners
Wonderful.
assimilate, participate, use in their branding. So
Great. Great. Okay. So that's where I go for that information. I didn't see it on your website and
no, it's
uh,
all good. And we could email you that link too, but just if you're at Rams talk.
Yeah.
Todd, do you have
okay.
any thoughts you want to jump in on?
I just hope she knows it's the one that alerted. It's easily a $300,000 spent to get this building rentable.
Yes, I understand that. It's about what
Okay.
I have on paper here. Let me see, 70, 90, 102. It's around 200 is what I have, but I actually have planned a lot of reserve for myself. If these tenants don't come through, I will need to say purchase all the restaurant equipment myself, things like that. If the tenants are just waiting like they have told me they are, and they're willing to come in, possibly work with me on getting things set up, I wouldn't be establishing a whole restaurant full of equipment and chairs and bars and things like that. It would just be up to the tenant at that point.
You're not saying your same tenants, right? You're saying
No.
they're saying tenants that have approached you
Yes,
recently. Yeah.
yes. Yes. And I do know of, two of them are just in downtown Tillamook already. It's not downtown, but I think that the gentleman that would do the baking comes out of Pacific City. And he's just expressed a desire and he has the ability to furnish it. But I don't have, he's just wanting a roof over his head. But I need to know that the climate next spring is there for him to actually move a business like that into Tillamook and have a clean building to operate out of. So I didn't make any promises about spring, but I do intend to get those things done in order as I wrote you, which would be the roof project, doors and windows, all of the painting, on the outside, that would take place as soon as the windows are in. Um, the strategy behind finding tenants, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. I've kind of had, conversations with people that I have already known in town. But as I spend more time there and I get to meet people and, talk to friends and neighbors and things, I hope that it just unfolds. And if I had 4 spaces in there, I think it'd be great. There was a salon there before. There's a salon right next door. The gal expressed interest herself not to move, but just to put an additional stylist there. I don't know how that would work, but there was a stylist there before. And then someone else was very happy with the free open basement to have storage capabilities and just supplies and things like that that there was available. The separate entrance on the back uh would avail like a private entrance to the upstairs where the yoga fitness was before. Because again, very clean slate. It's just hardwood floors and mirrors, and it's 1,250 square feet. And it would be just kind of a turnkey. I mean, we'd have a new roof, and I've taken out all of the drywall over the years, so it's got just the exposed beams, which is a very cool look these days. A lot of people have done that. They just, it's okay to have your ductwork exposed. It's just painted all black or brown or whatever, and it looks very natural and very cool. Given the fact that it is a high ceiling. So the finish work, I think, could be done very sparsely and let the new tenant pick colors, textures, wall coverings, things like that themselves. If that doesn't happen, that would just turn into my phase 5, and I would do it myself. Because I feel like build it and they will come. It is a building that I bought in 1998. It's paid for. And this is going to be my retirement. So that's really what holds me to keeping on this project. I have to start somewhere, and my asking you direction is to be hopeful that I didn't just miss the boat with that first ask. The roof is gonna be 70,000. Would you be participating in the neighborhood of 20? Or do you see that not working? If you're out of budget, that's a very good excuse. But if I'm understanding better, I get the whole project down in phases, and then I can actually, hit you up when I get ready for windows or something. Because
Sure.
that could be January.
Yep.
And I still need ideas, but I can get them from the Chamber of Commerce. I wasn't finding them on your website, so that's a big help. That's a
Yeah.
big help. And then anything I can do, again, I spend a lot of weekends up there, but it's hard to get into the courthouse and talk with y'all, so.
Yeah.
But. Well, anything else for me? I'm trying to think of,
Well, as far as your application now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point I mean,
So Bonnie,
yes,
Yeah. I would just say, I hate to make you do a bunch of busy work, but I would just clean up this application, synthesize it down, into, not down, but actually expand it into everything that is gonna take to solve this project, to make the project 100%. I would do a nice Excel spreadsheet, so it's like hey, we need 2 grand for this, we need 70,000 for this, but we just need to see all the phases of how we go from where we are to a rentable building. And
Okay.
then a 2 sentence, 1 paragraph strategy on this is how I'm going to get it rented. Not just, oh, I'm putting a sign on the side of the street, but I know a restaurant, I know this, I'm trying that, I'm working with a broker. Because we want to know that you can become successful too. And then finally, we don't have any capital for Q3 or Q4. You're welcome to resubmit and we can continue to workshop this. But realistically, I don't see us having any capital until at least Q2 of next year.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Well, again, that roof's got to go on, I think, this year. I just, that's why I showed that I had the capital to do it either way. So,
Oh, yeah.
I'll just be able to move forward there. And I would probably feel more comfortable with this relationship if I did, get a broad picture in front of you guys, and then we could hone it down. Even if I just attend each one of these meetings for listening's sake and learn, then we can keep it moving forward, adjust where
Yeah.
we need to.
Yeah,
And if you come
it
up with
might
this,
not feel like it, but we are on your side. We are rooting for you. We just have to we can only deal with, the capital we have.
oh, sure,
So
yeah,
we'll keep moving forward, clean up that application, Excel sheet, strategy on how we get it rented. But we need to see that total number. Like Todd is saying, we think it's gonna be 300,000 or north. We wanna know we can get there.
okay. Okay, well, I will do my best, and then I will attend the website for the chamber to get some color ideas and stuff. And is there already like public notice of what these other buildings are bringing in?
Of what the deals is gonna pay,
The Beals, and then the one on the other side is Second,
we
the
are
west
not, I
side of
don't have
the.
the information, but we could maybe take a note and reach out to those building owners and see if they have any, or what their plan is.
Great, it's just a matter of wanting us all to succeed, a complementary business versus a competitive one.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Speaking just personally for me, I really appreciate that intentionality. I believe in Tillamook. I think it is super cute. I think it's been a little underserved. And I think people like you that have a better vision for how cute and how approachable and how clean and how safe it can be, I want to encourage that. So I appreciate the design conscientiousness. Very cool.
great, and I really think that the flow through traffic, having a nice rear entrance and front entrance so that people can come from Second Street, because Second Street has really taken hold with the plaza. And Third Street is a little more on the way of traffic, but boy, you can walk in that back door and visit a business and then come out to Second Street and sit in the courtyard with your coffee or whatever. And I think that that's a good possibility, is to really spruce up that back side. And windows, gosh, I'm wide open. There's so much out there, but I want them to be operational, so there's good ventilation. I don't want you know I don't want them to be dreary like they are. They were
Yeah.
stationary windows, functional for light, but not good for anything else. So I'm really looking forward to cleaning it up, and I'll get help along the way, and I'll definitely make sure that those paragraphs kind of get the mission out there so that you guys can review it briefly and just kind of keep it on the back burner until you want to look at it again.
Right.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, and then is Sarah, are you the liaison if I do have questions? Do you want me to?
Yes.
Okay, you don't
Yep.
mind, like the email with the bullet points I sent, because I thought, well, I definitely missed the goal here. So what do you think about this? Was that all right? And you can share it with whoever you want. I just thought maybe you and I, if you're the good email to send that stuff to,
Absolutely.
then
Feel
I'll
free to reach
attend.
out. Sure.
Okay, great. Thank you. I
Okay.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right,
No
all.
problem.
Have a good evening. I guess that's
Okay,
it.
thank you.